Welcome. Hi. Gosh, welcome to the first of what I don't think is going to be the last Unstoppable call with Christel Crawford. Yeah, wow. You know, the coolest thing about being a certified facilitator with Access Consciousness is that you only have to be willing to create enough that you show up to the energy and then ask what wants to be created. So any of you that have been worrying that you actually need to know what you're doing can just stop that now. You don't need to know what you're doing. You simply have to be brave enough to create. And for those of you that are just joining us, if you're new to Zoom, you have a little mute button and a video button down on your bottom left. So if you could use your mute button, unless you are wanting to ask a question, then I would love to hear you. That would be great and save me a little bit of figuring out who's doing the road construction in the background. And for the rest of you, hi. So there are a few people here that actually don't know a whole lot about Access Consciousness. And so I want to just do a little brief about that, and just so you kind of know. So when we do start getting into some weird stuff, it's not as weird. Access Consciousness is a big body of tools. We use a lot of different processes. We have body work that we do verbal processing, but this is all about the verbal processing. And the best and biggest tool of Access Consciousness that creates so much change is the clearing statement. And it goes right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. It has a website attached to it, so if you're one of those people that needs a lot of details, go check that out at theclearingstatement.com. Otherwise, just get that it's basically like an energetic magic wand where we can bring up an energy that's like everything that is, and we can destroy it, choose. We can choose to destroy and uncreate it. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So for any and all other details, check out my website, ChristelJoyCrawford.com, go to theclearingstatement.com, and that's all I'm going to say about that for now, okay? So what I really want to talk about today is this whole concept thing about being unstoppable. It's really interesting. Actually, I was in a really happy, jokey space, and then 6 minutes before I got onto this call, I saw this Facebook video that made me cry, and I'm like, I couldn't get onto the call. But it was this lady that she has this organization somewhere in Nepal, and she basically rescues trafficked girls. So a lot of girls from all over the world are taken from their homes and taken from their families and tricked into, going places with these people and then put into the service of men. And there's all kinds of stories that you guys have heard. And she's rescued and created a space for 12,000 of these girls in Nepal, to where they have now a space where they can go and they can live and they can live out the rest of their days. And I'm just sitting on this, I'm watching this video, and I've got tears coming down my face, and I'm about to get on this call, and I'm like, well, this is one of the energies I'm talking about. But I looked at that choice in her world to create this space for those girls, having been one of them herself. And I was like, there's no place in her world where, her target with what she's creating with her life is to change human trafficking on the planet. To create a space and a place and a planet where human trafficking doesn't exist. That's not a small target. Human trafficking goes on. I don't even know anything about it, and I know that it goes on in a lot of different countries all over the world all the time, right? That's not a small target. And I thought, here she is, this little tiny Nepalese woman, and now with the choices that she's made, she's being honored by CNN, and now her thing is getting out there into the world. And one of the things I've been looking at is before we've even stepped foot out of our door to do something, to create something, we've stopped ourselves. And I've looked at my life over the last year or so, and I've made a few videos about this, but it's I started looking back to where I was just me a year ago, and a year ago, I didn't have an online business. Literally, I didn't start building an online business till May. And now today, I've got 230 of you guys coming to play on one of my calls, right? A year ago, I wasn't living in Vancouver. Today, I am living here, and that was a big set of choices and moving stuff and getting things going. You know, a year ago, my financial reality was one place, and today it's like wickedly different. You know, so it's like, where do we stop ourselves before we even begin? And while we're in the process, where do we go to cutting off the acknowledgement of everything we've created that keeps anything else from showing up? So everything that is for you guys, everything that brings up, can we destroy it and create all that? Times a gazillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And you guys are welcome. This is a space where all your questions are welcome. So as things come up for you, if you have a question, if you've got a stuck place in your life, you can interrupt and just start speaking at any time. So please feel free. That will really contribute to the call. Did anybody have anything? There was a blip. Okay, cool. So one of the things that I've been asking the people that I'm talking to now when I'm doing sessions, because this is coming up for a lot of people, is what do you love about stopping you? I loved one of the posts that Blossom Benedict put up on Facebook the other day, and it was an acknowledgement of her Facebook page that she had like 8,000 people that liked her page, and she's like, you know, when I first started, I had no idea how or what it was going to take to get to here. And yet here I am today. I've got 8, you know, and look at what I've created. And I had this epiphany about 3 months ago where I was like, wow, I was looking at my momentum group and I was like, there's 50 people in here that are paying me to like hang out with me and create. Like, that's pretty epic. Like, and up to that point, I hadn't acknowledged that. I was in this constant, like, you know, that ache of dissatisfaction that doesn't actually acknowledge and then create more from it. It's that dissatisfaction that's like kind of judgy, where it's like, yeah, I've created this, but what else? What else? What else? There's got to be more. There's got to be more you know, which actually just keeps forcing into the future instead of allowing it to unfold. So everything that is, and everywhere you haven't actually paused to acknowledge everything you have created that's gotten you to here, could we destroy it and create that? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all name, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Because when you look back over and this is where I get that looking back is valuable from the point of view of going, wow, like, look at where I am today. Like, look at where I am today. Look at what I've chosen that's gotten me to here. What else is possible now? Like, what else can I begin to choose and look at and create? And as you ask those questions, what comes up are energies. They're very nonlinear and they're very non-cognitive. They're meant to be. You know, all of these tools that we use in Access Consciousness are meant to actually get you out of your head. Because if your mind could have created the life you truly desire, or all of the things that you desire, you would have had them by now. So we've all come into Access Consciousness and we're like, you know, still sort of functioning that same way, not sort of, like a lot, you know, and we're really trying to use these questions and choices and things like that kind of in a linear way still, because that's what we're trained to do, right? We're trained to go get a goal, get a target, like decide what you want, find out the steps to get there, and A plus B plus C. And then we get these tools in there. We're like, well, now we've got questions and choices, and now we're like, okay, what questions can I ask to do A plus B plus C, you know, with more ease. And the thing about these tools is that they are actually meant to get you out of A plus B equals C, because you don't actually function that way. We've been taught to function that way. We've been programmed and conditioned to function that way, but it doesn't actually work for us. And so what these questions do, and all of them, no matter how you ask them or how weird they are, is they bring up these energies. You know, so what question can you begin to ask to have the awareness of the energy that you can follow that will make you unstoppable? And everything that is, and everything that doesn't allow that to show up, will you destroy and create all that? Times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. I think Sam said something down here. I've been working in my field for 15 years. It's hard to break free of my old career because of the investment in my life so far, and now I'm a mom of 2, yet I do actually have a bubble of time to do something new. Cool. And, you know, it is there are these places in our life that we get to where it's like, okay, I know something else is possible, but I don't know how to begin, or I don't know how to start it, or I don't know what those steps are. You know, that's cool. What an amazing place to be. And so what do? So what you do is you begin to go, okay, where can I start with this? What am I aware of? What would be really fun for me to create? And some of these questions, when you're first beginning to ask them, we're all in different places with this. So some of these questions, when you're first beginning to ask them, are going to feel a little blank. Maybe not even a little blank, maybe very blank. And just know that that's normal, because what you're starting to do as you begin this process of what else is possible, no matter where that is for you, is you're beginning to open up new spaces of possibility that the universe can then contribute and flood in information into, awareness into. But it never floods in any old normal way. It comes in really odd and random ways, right? Because that's the universe we live in. It never shows up the way you think it will. So you just want to begin to ask, okay, so Sam, I've got a bubble of time to do something new. What would be fun for me to create in this space? And maybe make a list. Maybe make a list of 300 things that could be fun for you to create. And then look at, okay, so what are the things that would actually advance my life in the direction or in the energies that I'm aware of? So I'll give you a few examples from my own life. My business has been rearranging itself for the last 3 months in a dynamic way. And if you guys have just joined the call, if you could just mute yourself so that we don't hear Chewbacca in the background, that would be awesome. Thank you. So my business, right? Okay, so it's been this big rearranging of everything, right? And so there's been a lot of moments where I've been like, I've been saying to myself, I have no idea. I have no idea. There's so much space now. Well, what are you creating? I have no idea. And I keep creating, and I'll do this and I'll do that, but I still feel like I have no idea. And I did this really amazing call with Lisa Murray, and if you haven't done any of her stuff, I highly recommend. And she said, what if you replace I have no idea with what do I know about this? What do I know about this? What do I know about this energy? What do I know about this thing I'm saying I have no idea about? Okay, wait, if that wasn't true, what would I know? Because what you do when you begin to ask questions like that, it's like you literally take these weird points of view that keep you stuck and kind of blank, and you flip them on their head. And you're like, okay, I could keep telling myself that I don't know, which is one way of doing it. Or I could go, okay, so if that wasn't true, POC and POD, everywhere where I bought that is true. So everything that is, everywhere, all the I don't knows keeping you guys out of your own awareness. Could we destroy and create all that times a godzillion, right? Wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. What do I know about this? And I'll tell you what's been changing for me around this. What if you replace I don't know with what? Oh, what if you replace I don't know with what do I know? Instead of I don't know, what do I know about this? Do I have a sense of it yet? Yes, I have a sense. Do I have anything beyond that? No, but I'm really wondering what I do know about this. I've been looking at the world of finance and the world of money really differently since the advanced money calls. And one of the things that I became aware of is that I know something about money. Have I let that knowing into all of my life? Not all of it. Have I let some of it in? Sure. Yeah, I've created a lot in my 10% account. I'm wearing a lot of it. There is money in my world. Is all of it there? No. And if you just join the call, if you don't mind muting yourself, awesome. So I've just been asking, okay, so if I wasn't cut off from any of the awareness that I had about this area in any of my life, what would I know? And so what's been going on with that is that different things have been showing up. Like I've been introduced to different YouTube videos on the ascent of money, and different books have been coming into my life, and I've been having very different conversations. I've been meeting different people. I've been meeting wealthier people, actually, where I've been getting to see, okay, that's the energy of having a lot of money. Oh, I already be that. That's really interesting. I hadn't ever acknowledged that. So if I were being the energy of having lots of money, and I am being it already, what could change about what it is that I know, about what it is I could choose? Again, making me unstoppable. I had a great conversation with my friend Torsten today. Yes, and I will get to these questions. I'm on a little bit of a roll, so don't, just hang in there. So one of the things that we were looking at today is, with money in particular, is if I had $100 million, what would change? And what I said to him, what would change about the way I see myself? And I said to him, I said, I would just never doubt. I would never doubt. I would know that everything that I could create was possible. And so he said, well, what if you be that energy now? And I was like, well, that's a good idea. I think I'll choose that, So everything that doesn't allow you to be the energy that will give you what you require to create what you desire, could we begin to destroy and uncreate all of that times a godzillion? Right, Ron, talk all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And somebody's got a nice ringing in the background. Could you just check and see if you're muted for me? Cool. Awesome. So glad you guys are all here. I'm just going to mute a few of you. Cool. Okay, so Ruth.
Christel.
Yeah, please.
Hi, this is Nora.
Hi.
My question is, can we talk about patience? Because you talked about Blossom's 8,000 likes, and if it was me, I would be like, I'm gonna create a page now, and I want 8,000 likes right now.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I'm very humanoid. Yes. So, what's your question?
Did you say something? I didn't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Oh God, I can't hear you.
No. Can anybody else hear me? We can all hear me. Okay, cool. So, Nura, what's your question? Can you hear that? Okay. And what I want to talk, while she's looking at that, what her question is, I want to talk to you a little bit about patience. There is this really amazing quote in the How to Become Money workbook about control. That is not what you think it is. And I'm just looking for where I stashed that little workbook. And I want to read it to you. Okay, one of the things that Gary talks about in the How to Become Money workbook is becoming power, awareness, control, creativity, money. And when he talks about control, this is what he says. What does it mean to be I am control? I am control is the understanding that at the correct time, in the correct way, without your defining the path, that which you envision as creativity, that which you are aware of as a completion, that which you connected to as the power of it, as the energy of it, is a done deal in its own time, in its own framework. And if you put those four components together, I am power, I am awareness, I am control, I am creativity, you allow the universe to adjust every aspect, because the world doesn't function on money, it functions on energy. Now, this isn't a call about money. This is a different space we're looking at, but it relates to everything. And when it comes to patience, patience is the knowing that what you've asked for is going to show up. It's literally just walking out the steps. So everything that doesn't allow you to be that amount of trust in your own knowing and trust in the choices that you're making, could you destroy it and create all that? Right.
Yes.
Fuck all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Yeah, Nura, did you hear all that?
Yes. I heard you.
So how is that? Does that address your question or is there more?
Yes, it does. I was just looking at the energy of it takes time to build something.
Yes.
And what am I not getting with this necessity that it shows up right now?
Yes. So let's ask some really weird questions. So truth, does it take time to build things?
Can you repeat that? Sorry.
Yeah. So truth, does it take time to build things? Yes or no?
Depends on how you look at it.
Okay, so if you didn't have any other answer but yes or no, what would you get?
No.
Okay. I know you don't want to say that. It doesn't make any sense, but I want to talk about it. Okay. So this is what you got to start to get about the way we create. First of all, we are instant creators, all of us. We create things quickly in our heads, and we also create as the energy of things. So it's like there's a knowing that we have. Let's say, so no, you said no, it doesn't take time, and that doesn't make any sense. So you are correct, because time in this reality is a construct. It's something that they created to keep track and to be able to schedule sessions with, right? Like it's a construct. So no, it doesn't take time. And does it sometimes take time for things to actualize in this reality? So where the never give up, never give in, never quit comes in, and I want to circle back around to talking about Gary Douglas for a bit, because I've been really looking at this. If you can like put yourself in Gary's shoes when he's first starting Access Consciousness and look at that for a second. Holy shit. Like this stuff is weird. You know, there is nothing else out there like these tools and these questions. And I can only imagine like how many times in the last 26 years that Gary's gone, okay, I'm good. Like I'm good. It's enough. You know, he talks about how in the early days of creating consciousness that it was like going through a jungle with fingernail clippers. You know, that doesn't really sound like a whole lot of fun. And yet he still kept choosing. He still kept creating. He still kept creating classes. He still kept doing it. And because he never gave up, and he knew, somewhere in him he knew that what he was choosing to create already existed, and all he had to do was just keep walking and keep choosing. We're here today. So everything that doesn't allow you guys to tap into that for what it is that you're creating, can you destroy and create all that times a godzillion?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
Wow.
And Nura, if there's more, feel free to just keep going there. And Shani said, what about the frustration? So my question to you, Shani, would be like, what is that? What is the frustration? Is it things not showing up quick enough?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I want to invite you guys to look at is everywhere you decided, judged, concluded, projected, expected, that because you put something out there, you're supposed to get a certain result. Can you destroy and uncreate all of that times a godzillion? Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And this comes up a lot with the people that I work with when we're creating new business. You know, like all of you guys, I bet, I would guess that most of you guys on this call are entrepreneurs of some sort. And when you're just beginning an entrepreneurship, you know, there's the beginning part of it, which none of us really like that much. You know? I mean, we like the creation. We like the creation part. We're like, I have this new business. I have this new logo. I just put up a Facebook page. I've got a website. Dun, da, da, da. And then we hear the crickets. And then we go to assuming that we're wrong, that we must not have created a good enough logo, that website must be terrible, because if it wasn't, I'd be on Oprah, but I'm not. Right? So everything that is times a godzillion when you destroy and create all that.
Yes.
That POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. And I'm making fun of myself too, because trust me, I go there too. You know, like I'm constantly creating new programs. And one of the things I'm looking at now is, so, you know, since May till probably last month, for me, I invited myself on my own self-created, what I call a shit show of creation. So to create at my speed, in the way that works for me, and if people want to show up and play, cool. And a lot of what I've created has been that energy. Now what I'm starting to look at is what if I played in a different way? What if I actually played with, okay, so I want to create this program. I want to create this momentum group, right? What could I just contribute to the rest of the world to allow them to tap into me, so that they know and can taste and can see that the fruit is something they're interested in? How much of myself can I give away so that I can just be so present in the world that people just tumble over themselves to pay me? So everything that doesn't allow you guys to have that same awareness in your world, can you destroy and create all that? times a godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Now, I know a lot of this conversation has kind of been around business and money, and it doesn't just apply there. I happen to really like those two things. I talk about them a lot. But it's like, you got to look at this for the rest of your life. It's like everything that you do that's new has to be choice. And then all of a sudden it's not new anymore. Now you've done 2 choices in. Now you're 3 choices in. Now you're 4 choices in. Now you're 5 choices in. Now you're not so much of a beginner anymore. Now you're kind of like an intermediate-er, and you just got to get that that's what it is. Cool. We're just starting. So what else can I create that would allow this thing to grow and to be nurtured and to expand beyond anything I've decided is possible? What else can I create? What other adventures can I go on? Lisa Murray talks a lot about going on creative adventures, and I'm still playing with this because I like to adventure right in front of my computer, and that's one way of adventuring. But what I've noticed is that when I'm willing to get out from behind my computer and go out at night, I meet millionaires, and then I get to play in their world for a little while. And, I get to go out onto the beach and find shells that inspire me and give me this other idea for this other thing I want to create. What adventures can you begin to go on and take yourself on that would give you, feed the well? Julia Cameron writes this book called The Artist's Way, and she recommends taking yourself out on artist dates. Once a week, you go out on an artist date. And that really it resonated with me for a while, because it's like, oh, right. So if you go on an artist date, you're simply just taking yourself somewhere that's fun for you. And she talks about going to museums or, galleries, or going downtown into that little part of town that you never go into. Same thing, right? What can you begin to choose to add to your life that will feed the repository of possibilities in your world, that will give you the fodder and the creative ideas that you otherwise wouldn't have had to create what it is you desire to create? So everything that brings up, can we destroy it and create all that? Right, times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POC, all nine shirts, boys and beyonds.
I'd like to just ask a question.
Yes, please.
Talking to the world. Okay, so I get all the creation, and I know I can be creative. And this call for me was speaking to me about being unstoppable. So I get being creative in the ideas. I want more about me holding myself back from when I get the ideas and then actualizing them. And I'm aware of places where I do that. And then I'm wondering about where are all the other places I'm doing it that I'm not aware of.
Okay, cool. So what do you love about stopping you? Everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And for those of you that are new to Access Consciousness, what I'm about to do here is I'm going to ask her some questions that bring up a lot of energy. Some of them will have words, others of them won't have words. And so you can just look at this for you as we're going through this with her, okay? So Janine, what do you love about stopping you? That. Everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and create all that? Times a godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
I can just feel, I'm so
yeah. So how much of your potency do you hold back? A little bit or a megaton?
Well, yeah, it's making me almost explode right now.
Yeah. So everything that is, everywhere you've been stopping yourself from exploding, would you please stop yourself and cut that shit out? Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
Yeah. Yes.
So what would change, if you allowed yourself to be unstoppable, what would change? What would you lose?
What came up for me when you said that is there's probably nothing I wouldn't try.
Right, because that's not already true about you. Everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and create all that? Yeah. Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So when you say there's nothing I wouldn't try, is there any judgment in there?
Okay, I get a yes energetically. So
okay, cool. But so everywhere you've taken on other people's interesting point of view, that being willing to try anything is somehow wrong and judgeable. Would you destroy and uncreate all that?
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think part of that is knowing that some of what you might try, it's not going to work. Some of it might, some of it may not.
No, a lot of what I tried to do. And by work, I mean, it doesn't create what I thought it was going to create.
Right. Yeah.
Anywhere and everywhere, we decided and already prejudged our choices based on our competency, lack of knowledge, lack of smarts. Could we destroy and uncreate all that times a godzillion?
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, all nine shorts, boys and girls. I mean, when you look at work, what is that? Meaning, like, if it doesn't work. I know billionaires that have gone bankrupt in their first 3 billion businesses. I mean, I don't know them personally, but I've read stories. It's like, so did that not work? Or did that choice create a whole fuck ton of awareness for what they created next?
Yeah, exactly.
So everywhere you're keeping yourself from choosing what could be really fun to fail at and maybe really wildly succeed, could we destroy it and create all that? Times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyond.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I have one more question, and this may not be for you, but if it is, speak up. It's like, what are you dying to create that if you chose to create it would make you unstoppable?
Yeah, there's
everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and create all that? Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And what are you dying to create that you're already creating, but not acknowledging you're creating, that if you would acknowledge you're creating it, would give you the awareness of everything else you could possibly choose? Everything that is times a godzillion, could you destroy and create all that? Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So is that more space or is there more there?
Cool. I think that shifted a lot, and thank you for that.
Cool. And I've got like a ton of questions in the chat, so I'm going to start reading some of these. Can you speak a little bit more about patience versus needing to do something more? I often get caught up in being a human doing versus a human being, and I wonder how you found the patience to know that you've contributed what you need to and where you need to keep doing more. Oh, that you've contributed what you need to and where you need to keep doing more. Yeah, that scrambled my brain. So everything that is times a godzillion, can we destroy it and create all that? Right, good, bad, POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So patience versus needing to do something more is interesting. So one of the things that I know about myself, and in Access we talk about humans and humanoids, and not from a judging perspective, but in a way that we can really start to get the way we function. And as a humanoid being, you are one of these people that gets bored really easily, has to create a ton, multitasks like a fiend, and needs to keep like about 25 balls in the air at all times. So this whole thing about patience is a little bit of it's a lot of times misidentified and misapplied as waiting. So anywhere and everywhere we've misidentified and misapplied patience as waiting. Can we destroy and create all that? Times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, all name shorts, boys and beyonds. And then this whole thing of being a human doing versus a human being. So we be all of these energies. We are energy. We are energy, space, and consciousness. We already be. We get to choose how much more we be and what we'd like to be and the energies we'd like to be. All of those are choices. And in that energy that we be, there's a lot of doing. There's a lot of activity. I have to wash my hair, brush my teeth, do my I either go to work or I don't go to work. I get to create that or I get to create that. I am the creator of my life. I am the alpha and the omega, the beginning and the end of what creates my life. I get to choose it. So my days are a reflection of what I'm choosing a lot of times. And my days all have doing in them. It's what would I like to be choosing that would create what I'd like to have. So anywhere and everywhere we've put this impelled separation between doing and being and made them two different planetary realities. Could we destroy and create all that? Times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. I hear people say this a lot. It's like, well, I don't want to do so much. I really just want to be and I want to play. And I'm like, well, what does that mean? Because actually, when you're out playing, you're doing too. So what are you creating with what you're choosing to do? Is it creating what you desire to create? Or would you rather be choosing and doing other things that would create something different? Everything that is times a godzillion. Can we destroy it and create it all? Get that buck on the insurance with me. Hope, does that address it? Is there more?
Yeah, there's I'm getting the energetic difference between patience and waiting. And I was wondering if you could just go a little bit more into that. Kind of what I'm getting is that there's a sense of patience is still following the energy and waiting is maybe stalling a little bit. Or I don't know if you have some more awareness about that, if you wouldn't mind.
So I'll give you a quick example from my life. Lately, with all the questions I've been asking, I've been having this really massive awareness around of the energies that I desire to create, and it's taking some shape. It's like one of the things I've become aware of for myself is like, I'd like to, if I could spend my days, if I had a reality that I was really enthused about, that I was the creator of, I would spend a lot of my hours of the day like having conversations with creators. You know, brilliant, just people that are out there choosing and creating and like having a good time doing that. Like, that's how I would spend my days. I heard that come out of my mouth. I was like, for what reason am I not choosing that now? So I started choosing more of it. And a lot of that energy was why I reached out to an author friend of mine, Brian Andreas, and he was out speaking in Texas, and I'm like, what would it take to bring you to Vancouver? And he said an invitation, and I was like, done, you're invited. And so we had a Skype, and now Brian Andreas is going to be coming to Vancouver to do to speak and to do a writing workshop. And this is an author that I've followed for 20 years, like, and I could have easily gone into that space of, you know, he's greater than me. He's been an author since I can remember. He's inspired me. He's the only book I've taken with me through all of my 15 moves. Like, you know, I could have gone really weird on that. And instead it was like, no, this matches the energy of what I desire to create. And it's bigger than this energy, but this is a piece of it. And it's something I can start with now. And so that's the patience of like, I get that what I'm creating on the planet is stadiums full of energy. Like the energy of it is stadiums and planetary, right? Mm-hmm. But it's literally being willing to go, okay, cool. I know that's already in existence. What can I choose to actualize it? Where can I start?
How can I start to link up with
that? Not about linking. It's literally following that energy. It's like, what matches this energy and where do I start? Because I don't have to connect the pieces. That's not my job. My job is literally to follow the breadcrumb trail that the universe leaves me to give me exactly what I'm asking for. So everything that doesn't allow you guys to tap into your own awareness of the energies around what it is you'd like to create, and being willing to ask the question of like, okay, where do I start with this? Can we destroy it and create all that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, all nature, it's poison beyond. So the patience comes in that, is this massive set of energies that I know is possible, have they actualized yet? No. Are pieces of them actualizing momentarily in different ways? Yes. Can I always be asking and choosing the things that match that energy that will actualize that thing? Yes. Cool. It's good then. We just keep going. And what we tend to do is we stop ourselves. It's like, you know, well, look, so I'll just use this as an example. We conclude that this massive energy is a stadium full of people. It is. I know that's what it is. That's the future that wants to be created. Fuck, how do I do that? Right? How do I do that? Who am I going to, I don't know how to do that. Like, I can't do that. Like, who do I, and we just go into all the ways we can't actualize this one conclusion that we made about what that energy is going to be, instead of going, okay, that energy, what matches that, and where do I start? So what have you made so vital about cutting off your own awareness of the energies that you'd like to have as your life and as the planet that keeps you from actualizing them? And everything that is, can we destroy and uncreate all that?
Yes.
Times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, all insurance, boys and beyonds. Cool. Yeah. How do you judge the awareness? How do you not judge the awareness as failure? Yeah, that's a really good question. How do you not judge the awareness as a failure? Well, you just don't. And I'm going to oversimplify this, and then we're going to go back into what that is. You just got to this is where in the creation of your life, you've got to start having your own back. And one of the most amazing things I heard out of the COP in this last month in Seattle, the Inclusive Possibilities class with Gary, in the manual was, he said, the awareness of your limitation is actually the gift. So it's like, as you're choosing and as you're creating, what you're going to find is these places where you're like, you find you're judging yourself, or you're going into conclusion again, or you're deciding, and you'd really like to be conscious, but you just can't do it, right? Like, it's this whole thing of like, I keep finding these places where I'm not being all I can be, and we judge ourselves for those. But it's the awareness of your limitation that actually gives you the possibility for a different choice. So if you're aware that you tend to judge yourself in this area, and you tend to go to, I failed, just get that. Okay, cool, I usually do that. As you're moving forward, you find yourself doing it again, going, okay, what else can I choose here? If I wasn't judging myself, what would I be aware of? And this is where the gift of awareness comes in, really, because it's like we all have our places where we don't function great, We've all got these places where we function as magic. It's all true. Consciousness includes everything and judges nothing. Consciousness includes everything, all of it. All the places and spaces, all the choices, all of this, all of that, all the creation, all the unstoppable, all the stoppable, all of it. All of you is included. So anywhere and everywhere where you've judged yourself out of being in total allowance of you, could you destroy and uncreate that? Time for that. Right, one good bad pop all range explains and beyond. Cool. Leslie's like, what do you keep repeating? What are the words you're saying? Okay, Leslie, you stopped in later. Go check out theclearingstatement.com. It's really bizarre and really effective. Cool.
Christel, can I ask a question?
Please.
The stuff you said about stopping yourself.
Yes.
Can you talk some more about that? Because I can perceive all these energies, and then I'm like, oh shit. Or sometimes it's like I'm bored before I've started to get halfway there, or it's like, and I get so distracted I don't ever seem to finish anything.
Yes, so that's just true about you. I get that. That's normal. And this is one of the things that I've invited, because I played with this in a bunch of different ways. So, what makes me unstuck? A lot of people comment, you just keep creating, I can't keep up with you. And I'm like, well, it's if I don't keep creating, I get bored and I stop. So creating for me is the way to just keep going. It's like, is this the right thing? Maybe not. Maybe it's a conclusion. I'm going to keep creating, but I just keep creating that next thing and creating the next thing. So what you got to do with all of these energies that you're aware of is you got to start finding the way that works for you to capture them. So that may be for you. Gary talks about keeping a possibilities notebook. I have that in about 3 different ways. I have an electronic version in about 5 different handwritten versions. And, so I do that in a lot of different ways. And that's one way of capturing these energies. So if you're getting ideas out of the energies, capture the ideas, tuck them away, and then go, okay, so what wants to be first? And start playing with that. It's like, okay, what wants to be first? And then what can I contribute to this thing that wants to be first to actualize it more? If this thing was going to be 100 times greater, 1,000 times greater, what would I know about it? What would I choose? What could I create?
I just kind of go, oh shit.
Okay, cool. So all of the oh shit, keeping you guys from your own awareness of what could be next. Before I even create all that, times a godzillion. Right, wrong, puck, online shorts, boys and beyond. So what's the oh shit, Rachel?
It's bigger, it's more, I feel like I'm not supposed to be able to know how to do those things. I don't know where that's coming from, but it's like, who am I to know to do, to be?
Yep. Who am I to be? Who am I to create? Who am I to say anything?
What do I actually have to offer the world that hasn't already been offered in a better way?
But I know on another level that I've got loads.
Yeah. And in a way I've never seen before. So anywhere and everywhere you are comparing yourself to everybody else on the planet and find yourself lacking, could you destroy and create all of that?
Yeah.
Find the Godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, online, shorts, boys, and beyond. I remember when I first read Dane's book, Being You, Changing the World. And for those of you that are new, if you haven't read that book, I read that book. But I read it and I got to the back end of it and I was kind of mad. I was like, I've never read a book that's made me cry as much as it did and changed my life as much. And God damn it, that guy took my job. He said everything I ever wanted to say. He named his book everything I ever knew was possible. Like, he did it all already. And I don't know how long I spent in that place, but it was a little while. And I really felt like after I read that book, I was like, well, he said it all already. Like, what else is there to say? The end. Like, wow, that was amazing. And I started playing with that space a little bit more as time went on, and you know, and then I met Blossom, and I'm like, well, Blossom's already being everything that I want to be, you know, like, so all of these amazing, Elizabeth Gilbert's already written my book, you know, it's like, there's already all this amazing stuff out there that that resonates with what I know so much that it's easy to go, well, who am I? Like, I'm nobody, and just stop. But is that the lie that's keeping us from being the gift that could change the whole world? So everything that is times a Godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. There is nobody like you. There's not one person on the planet like you. Not one person who sees things the way you do, speaks the way you do, says them the way you do, articulates them or doesn't articulate them the way you do. And it is this refusal to acknowledge the gift that we are that keeps us being small. So everything that is times a Godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate all that?
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, online, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So what if you just risked being terribly good?
Cool.
I mean, Rachel, I've watched you do some videos and I'm like, you have some of the most courageous, brightly lit balls I've ever seen. And you are so, like, it doesn't even matter what you're saying. I want to watch you. I don't even know what you said by the time I get to the end of the video, but I watched the whole thing to listen to you talk. And what if creating what we know is possible, whatever that is as easy as being ourselves? That would be yeah.
I think it is, and then I make myself wrong for it being so easy.
Yeah. So all the autoresponders that we all have to going to the judgment of us rather than the greatness of us, could we destroy and create all of that times a Godzillion?
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, online, shorts, boys, and beyond. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Yeah, cool. Wow, there's so much here. It just, let's see here. So this question is, I've been through a lot of trauma from my earliest years, all distractor implants. There are so many of them. I know I'm amazing, but I learned I had to be fearful about being myself. Cool. So there's more there in her question, but I want to pause there. So my question to you would be, did you learn you had to be fearful about yourself, or did you pick up on everybody else's stuff going on around you? And this is something you guys got to get about yourselves. And I know we talk about it in Access all the time. So those of you that are old to Access, this might feel repetitive, but it really is that age-old question of like, who does that belong to? Who does that belong to? Who does that trauma in your body belong to? Is it yours or someone else's? Who does that fear that we've decided does fear belong to? Is it you or someone else's? Whose point of view is that you're buying, that you're fucked up and that you should be afraid of yourself? So anywhere and everywhere for all of us that we've bought into any of that, can we destroy and uncreate all that times a godzillion? Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So in the area of healing, she says, I can go way out there and do everything that's required now, but pretty much every other area I'm frozen rigid. What awareness do you have of how to get beyond this? And this is going to be your home play, you guys. When I talked about having home play, this is going to be the play. What do I love about stopping me? That's a really, when I first started getting into Access and I was being facilitated, this was one of the questions that kind of pissed me off the most. Because I didn't want to look at what I loved about it. I didn't love it. I'm bitching about it. Does it sound like I love it? Like this is the problem, you know? But the thing is about me that I learned, and I'm still seeing every day, is that when I want to change something, I do. When I want to change my furniture around, I move it. When I want to change my clothes, I change them. When I want to eat cake instead of avocado, I go find cake. So if I'm not changing something, what I am choosing to do is make it into a problem so that I can't change it, and I'm not actually looking at what's working for me about it. So you want to start to look at what really does work for you about stopping you. How does that serve you? Because it does. In some way, it's a gift. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing it. Now, it may be the gift that stopped giving in this 10 seconds. It may be the thing that now that you're ready to look at it, can shift and change. But in the way that your life has gone so far, it has worked for you. So what do you love about stopping you? I want to see 3 pages on my desk in the morning about that. No, forget it. Email me. It's like too much. I got it. Yeah. So what do you love about stopping you? If you didn't stop you, what would you be afraid would happen? And we're not talking about logic here. This is the insanity that keeps us from this is like, okay, what is our insane mind keeping us looped into here? If you didn't stop you, what would you be aware of? That's your third question. I don't remember the second one. I hope somebody's writing these down. And then as you go through this, you want to just destroy and uncreate, or as I say it, POD and POC, what comes up for you. What do I love about stopping me? Wow, everything that is, times a godzillion. You don't even have to say all that. Everything that is, POD and POC. Because this is what we got to start to unravel the unconsciousness around this stuff. Because it's like, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, I look at this frickin' room that we're in right now with all of you guys in it, and all I see is brilliant people. You are all brilliant. And I don't even know half of you, and I could point out at least one thing that's brilliant about you right now just from looking at you. So what keeps you from actually acknowledging that same thing about you? And everything that is, will you destroy and create all that? Times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Cool. This might have to turn into a teleseries. We could go on for like the next 3 hours. Okay, I got one more question, then we're going to start to wrap it up. Oh, and Ruth said, what's a possibilities book? I've not heard that before. That's just a notebook where you can write down all your ideas. Look, you guys, you get tons of ideas all the time. You know, you get ideas for like companies and businesses and doilies and oil blends and like, etc., like all the time. So you want to start to take advantage of that. You are creators. You're constant creators. And if you're not creating the future you desire, you're going to be creating crap. So this is where you got to start to look at, how can I use my capacity for creation to my advantage? How much more do I have to create to actually just let the capacity for creating crap, just to let that atrophy. I'm so busy creating my future, I have no time to create crap. So everything that is, we destroy it and create all that. Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Cool. And so Evelyn says, you are awesome, thank you. Would you talk about control and allowed? And you're welcome. Control and allowance, specifically creating when other people directly impact you by their choices, i.e. business and investment partners. Another example, I would like to sell a property I partly own and one partner is no longer talking and another partner changed her commitment of selling. Struggling with this today. Cool. So what I always do with anything that I desire to create, business, property selling, relationship, is like, what would it take to get this done with ease? You actually have to start from the place where what you want isn't impossible and nothing is going to stop you. So if you'd like to sell that property, you've got to be willing to go, okay, what would it take to sell this property with ease? What is required? And really be willing to open up the awareness around that. Because right now it's like, this is a great example. Thank you, Evelyn, for where we stop ourselves with lots of different things. It's like, well, I want to create a business, but my husband, he's not too keen on me being really public. Or I want to do this, or I want to create that, but I want to do, but. So all the buts that are not contributing to the size of our butt, that are contributing to stopping us, can we destroy and uncreate all of that times a godzillion? Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So that's where I would start with that. It's like, okay, this property needs to sell. I'm ready to sell it. So what will it take? What do I have to do or be different? What can I change here? What can I shift? What can I be aware of that would give me the information that I require to sell it with ease? And that's where you start. Cool. And Evelyn, if there's more there, let me know. And let me see if there's one more question. I know there's tons. Oh, cool. Question. Do you have practical steps on getting started in being an author? Yes, Robert. Start. And I'm being cheeky and I'm being very honest all at the same time. You literally have to just start. I was watching this really cool movie called The Peaceful Warrior, and go see it. Anyway, it's a parable really about this older guy. It's kind of a karate kid, modern day karate kid. One of the things that he said to his his frustrated, brilliant protege was like, it's not about starting, it's just doing. Just do it. Just start. What makes you a writer? Do you write? You're a writer. What makes you an author? Well, you're published. So what makes you published? Start a blog. What can you start with that would inspire you, that could create the future that you know is possible? So I've got in my writers group right now, like we are all in some way creating, well, some of us are writing books, but there's a lot of us that are writing blogs right now. And the whole thing was around writing a book, but I don't have a point of view about how that shows up, and neither did they. So it's like, okay, where can you start with this? What would you like to create? And what would be fun for you to do now? Around what topics? Maybe it's just on the topic of being yourself. Maybe you know something about traveling, being Scottish in Canada. That could be an interesting blog. Although you need your accent. I would recommend a video blog because you're just fun to listen to. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, you just start like anywhere and just start putting it out there. Cool. And I got one more question, then I'm going to start to wrap this up. We could go on. Cool. Can you speak a little to the money workbook book on I am control and the difference between being control and being controlling? Yes, I think so. Being control is being the knowing that what you've asked for is going to show up in the time that it does, in the way that it will, however that happens. Being controlling is concluding and needing to force your conclusion into existence. I'm so grateful that just came out of my mouth. I made it up. Everything that is, everywhere that we've misidentified and misapplied, controlling and control, can we destroy and create all that times a godzillion? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all the insurance, boys and beyonds. And Cherie, do you have one more question? And then we will start to wind down. Are you live, my lady? Okay, she's not. Cool. So, I mean, obviously, guys, this is a huge thing. So does that help? Is there more there? Is there somebody else that has a burning, like, I'm going to die if I don't ask this question before we go? I don't want anybody to die. Okay, cool. So your home play is to look at what you love about stopping you. That's your home play. All right. And what I want to invite you into too is like, I've set aside my whole day tomorrow. So if anybody wants a 15 minutes with me, I'm calling them a Kickstart Session. Like, I'm going to send you a link after this call, and you can just, I've got 30 slots available. So there's 230 of you. So get on it if you want one, but 15 minutes where we can look at what are you creating? What is stopping you? And what could you add to your life that could be next? I mean, I do all kinds of programs, you know, so this is a plug for my stuff. Sure. Yeah. Come play. And what else is possible? Like, what else could you add? What's possible for what you're creating? So don't have any fun with that at all, because that would be bad. And if you'd like a 15-minute session with me, check the link in your email that's coming to in an hour or 20 minutes. I don't know. And book that with me, and we'll meet tomorrow. And otherwise, I'm so grateful for you guys. And if you guys want more of this, if this is a subject that you get that we could like go on for another series, I'm open to feedback. Just let me know and we can create that. And yeah, thank you for being here. And for you guys that are new to Access Consciousness, welcome to the deep end. And I hope you enjoyed it. Check it out more. Yeah. So bye for now.
Thanks, Christel.
You're so welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.